Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Teresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Welcome to another edition of For the Record on 1680 The Crow. I'm your host, Filip Kovacevic. As winter gets closer, maintaining personal health becomes an even bigger priority. Today we have Xenia Kulotska, a registered Vancouver nurse, here to talk about the effectiveness of natural remedies to heal the human body and maintain good health. Now, I'll start with the first question. What's your educational background in medicine?
So I am a registered nurse by profession and worked here in Canada as a registered nurse. And then I took a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing from University of Victoria. And after that, I got a master's degree in healthcare administration at the University of Colorado.
Okay. And what's your experience with naturopathic medicine?
Well, as a little, I heard from my grandmother and even from my mom about some like herbal teas, they're beneficial for your health. And I guess that imprinted some in my brain, some desire, to go into nursing and health and help people, so that I'm just guessing that that's why I chosen that profession. But what we were taught in nursing school was just pharmacology and internal medicine, but nothing, about natural medicine. And I guess that's where my road parted with natural medicine at that time. So then not until maybe 10 years ago or so, my husband started seeing some health issues, with some fungus, like skin fungus. And we took some over-the-counter medicine, and it didn't help. Then he went to physician, gave him prescription, it didn't help. Then he got, went to specialist, skin special dermatologist. And he gave him some BCIT creams, some tablets that had like huge side effect for liver. But we were just like, okay, well, he has to do it because he had fungus all over his body, like, what's happening, right? And it, he took it, and then he said, well, if it comes back, do it one more time, and then we're gonna check your liver because it's really destroying your liver. And it's like, and that really like, open our eyes, like, this medicine is really killing your liver, while treating fungus, and anyway, the worst case scenario was actually that even though he took all this medicine, it didn't help him. And, and he tried the diet, like less sugar, less carb, and nothing helped. Nothing helped. Like, it would be good, for a short while and then return, short while and return. So it's like, there gotta be something out there that, is to help him, right? There's one more thing that I just want to mention is that he had a congenital heart issue when he was little, and which with his mitral valve on his heart, and it was very stable for like 40 years plus, right? And then suddenly at that time, he went to see a specialist, just for regular checkup. And his valve just prolapsed. And it's like, really? Like, what happened? Nothing changed. We didn't change diet. We didn't change, like, we were very, like, physically active and all. And specialist said to him, you must have surgery to replace the valve. Otherwise, your heart is just going to weaken, and there is no end to it. Like, you cannot come back to the previous state. So, and when we ask, like, okay, so what surgery is going to do? Well, the best case scenario would be to repair a valve, your own valve, and that would be really good. But if not, then we will pull, like, pork valve, and it, every 10 years he would need to replace it, and then plus anticoagulant, to take. There's side effects. It's like, oh my God, from a healthy person who was very physically active, now you're telling me you must have surgery within 3 months, or your heart is going to deteriorate so much that, it's going to be really bad and there is no return. So we started, it's like, there's gotta be something. Like, God gave us body, God gave us medication to treat our body, so we started doing a little bit research. And then we found that, there is actually something, right? And to treat, his condition. And we found, what treats his condition for fungus. And it cured his fungus, and it never returned since, 10 years ago. And then we also researched about his heart, what strengthened your heart. There's something, and we found some medicine that strengthened your heart. So 10 years later, my husband is still very physically active. has no constraint, plays sports 5 days a week, he had no surgery. But if he went for surgery, he would be already overdue for another surgery, because if he had artificial valve, he would need another surgery to replace, because there is actually end to it, right? Expiry date of the valve. So that's our, where we started the research more. And then I had also situation with my mom, for example. He had my mom was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It's like lung autoimmune disease. And really, when you research about this disease, they don't know what's causing it. They don't know how to treat it. They only give you corticosteroids to mimic, the symptoms when the condition gets worse, to just get it a little bit better, but never to cure. This medication, just have such a bad side effect, that you get your blood sugar raises, so your bones get fragile, really, such a side effect, and not curable. So again, they don't know what's causing, but they cannot cure it. So another, disease in my family, that we just couldn't cure. So what really, again, research, and my mom started taking, herbs, that actually we started making tincture on our own. And in her late 60s, my mom was hiking mountains because she had so much energy that she's like, just take me out there, and the person who couldn't even walk, with the condition when she got diagnosed before. So that's kind of our story with natural, medicine. We actually believe that there is cure in the nature for every disease that there exists.
That's amazing. And do you know some helpful naturopathic remedies for people to use during winter?
Oh, absolutely. So one thing that I want to mention, why we actually choosing, or actually I should say that I mentioned already, there's no side effects of natural medicine. While medication that you take, there's always side effects. And then, you get another medication, then you get medication, so there's just no end to it. And you turn around and you have 10 medications that you're taking and your health is just deteriorated. But sometimes I believe, and from research, it's just not just my belief, that God gave every plant has some role in our lives. So, for example, dandelion root is just such a great medicine, for detox, and yet, it's considered to be weed. So, for winter, it's so just easy, to do it. We need to make our body, to create environment in our body so our body can cure, our body can resist all pathogens. And so one of the things is that I would say is that I call it like health tonic, supercharging tonic that we make, it's like simple, garlic and ginger and white onion and horseradish and cayenne pepper that helps with circulation.
That's all for today's edition of For the Record. I'm your host, Filip Kovacevic. Remember to keep yourselves healthy and warm this winter and talk to a medical professional if needed. Keep listening for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Good morning, I'm Melanie Levesque, and this is your morning news on 1680 The Crow. The top story this morning, the first group of Canadians has made it out of Gaza and into Egypt. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly posted a video to her social media from Tokyo this morning, saying that the government is hard at work trying to get Canadians out of Gaza.
Looking forward to seeing all Canadians evacuated, and you can be sure and rest assured that this is our #1 priority.
The Canadian Embassy in Egypt says consular officials are ready to assist the Canadians and a bus will take them to accommodations in Cairo. Now, with more on this story and the other stories we're covering today, producer Aaliyah Andres.
Thanks, Mel.
1 month since the initial attack in Gaza, and this is the first group of Canadians that have been able to leave through Egypt. Foreign Minister Affairs Melanie Joly said they were met by Canadian diplomats on the Egyptian side of the border, and we'll keep you updated on that coverage throughout the day. We're also hearing about a new type of anti-vaping program being introduced in schools by the province, as well as some financial advice regarding what drivers should be aware of this coming winter driving season, and some information about why Canadians aren't going to the dentist as frequently as they should. And those are all stories being covered today by our BCIT reporters. Back to you, Melanie.
The federal government says it will construct more than 2,800 homes on its properties in cities across the country, putting it on track to build almost 30,000 homes on public land over the next 6 years. Procurement Minister Jean-Yves Duclos says the Canadian Lands Corporation will be unlocking units by next March in Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa, and St. John's.
These are significant steps forward, but we know we need to do more. One way to do this is through Canada Land's new strategic plan, which now clearly sets a direction to enable a minimum of 20% affordable housing units when a municipality does not have a minimum requirement, making housing affordability a key priority.
A minimum of 300 of these units will be set aside for affordable housing. The Crown Corporation is now on track to create 29,200 new homes on public land by 2029. As the deadline to repay pandemic loans and receive partial forgiveness approaches, small businesses are still hoping the federal government will reverse course and extend it for another year. John Kennedy of the Associated Press has more.
Nearly 900,000 organizations applied for and received a Canada Emergency Business Account loan during the COVID-19 pandemic. The federal program offered up to $60,000 in interest-free loans to help businesses and nonprofits survive related shutdowns and slowdowns. Up to 1/3 of the loans can be forgiven if businesses pay back the outstanding amount by January 18th, 2024. Those that missed the deadline would see their debts converted to a 3-year loan with an interest rate of 5% annually. John Kennedy, The Canadian Press.
The City of Vancouver says the Stanley Park train will be returning for this year's holiday season. Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim says the return of the train was made possible by several local charities and nonprofits. The train was originally built in 1961 and was not operational since the fall of 2022. After some restoration and specialized parts and labor, the train will return for the park's Bright Nights event taking place from December 1st to January 1st. Now for weather. Today in Vancouver it is 9 degrees Celsius with mainly sunny skies. Tomorrow will be 11 degrees with a chance of showers, and for the rest of the week temperatures will reach a high of 11 degrees and a low of 8 degrees with rain and showers throughout. That's the end of your 10:30 news. I'm Melanie Levesque and this is 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
I'm on the top of the world looking down one creation, and the only explanation I can find. There's a lot that I found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. Journal season, 50 years old. I am currently working as home support worker or caregiver. I moved to Canada October 28, 2008. We are 11 siblings, very poor. Kasi ang nanay ko is plain housewife, and then ang tatay was before he was working in a logging, and then nagkaroon siya ng accident, nagkaroon siya ng knee injury, and so from that on ano na lang kami sa farm. Ako naman working students din ako from, if I remember, nag-i-start na ako like grade 4 na tumutulong na doon sa barangay captain namin, meron silang store. So tumutulong na ako doon sa store. And then nagkaroon yun ng mga like NPA military encounter. So nag-declare ng no man's land sa barangay namin. So pumunta kaming town, and then doon na nag-start na tumitira na ako ng unti-unti doon para ako ang inampon din, barangay captain namin. Simpleng pangarap ko, like laptop, like ang anak ko gustong malamig kasi nung na-hospital siya, ayaw niya niyang lumabas kasi daw sabi niya may aircon. So simpleng ganong pangarap, hindi ko mabibili dahil talagang kahit at night I was working, kasi mostly talaga panggabi ako. At night I was working, and then punta ako sa umaga after mag-pick up ng mga paninda. So hindi talaga kasya.
My name is Raquel Naraway. I'm 38 years old. At the moment, I'm working as a maintenance planner. So, my life in the Philippines was really, 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 really hard. Like, I would say that I'm probably one of the most, I would say superlative, most and poorest, person in the Philippines. I grew up on top of the mountain, no electricity, no proper water filtration and everything like that. I had to walk 5 kilometers one way to go to school every day when I was like a kid. And then my father died when I was 13 years old, and my mother was left with 6 kids. So just imagine, my mom didn't have a proper job really. So just imagine the struggle that we had. We had to dig something from the forest for us to be able to eat on that day. And sometimes we just sleep without eating anything. I work in high school. I got scholarship in college, and I was able to finish my degree. And after that, I just went on and on with looking for opportunities here and there, like in the Philippines or out of the country. I was already earning good money, but I was not contented, I guess. I mean, I was looking for more opportunities because at that time my mom was sick, and I really wanted her to have a better life. So I found more opportunities online, and I found an employer here in Canada. So that's when I came here as a nanny.
So I'm Claire, 28 years old, office manager. I'm currently studying as an international student. Well, my family are in the upper middle class, so I can say na privileged enough kami na, actually I don't necessarily need to move here technically to work my ass off. Like, I'm not sending money to the Philippines, and I feel like I'm happy, lucky, and grateful na ganun yung setup na binigay sa akin ng mundo. I'm gay ever since I was 6 years old. Medyo tanggap ko na kasi na ganun sa Philippines. But for my partner, I think isa sa mga reasons niya talaga for moving here, like for accepting my invitation to move here, was pagdating dito, we can get married. I just feel guilty na parang, syempre, maganda yung position niya sa Philippines and okay naman yung salary niya. Like, it's not middle, it's like higher than the usual in the Philippines. So, I just feel like ngayon, iba-ibang jobs yung na-explore niya and she has no choice but to be flexible. Unlike sa Philippines, kumbaga alam na niya na she's an operations manager. And, it's like sa business side and everything. But in here, we're quite restricted kasi bilang international students and open work permit, hindi pa kami pwede gumawa ng any business here. So, it's like we're just in here, sort of to survive. Survival mode muna.
Though we were in poverty in the Philippines, we were poor in the Philippines and never experienced taking care of other people's kids. So I had to learn, how to change diapers, how to clean houses, because when I was in the Philippines, even we were living on top of the mountain, my father was like, just go and study, we'll do everything for you. So when I arrived here, I was like, I imagined myself crying while when the kid I was watching vomit on me. I was like, I never experienced this. Like, even I was poor, I never experienced being other people's maid. Why am I doing this? I was crying while I was cleaning his vomit. I was like, I was a professional teacher in the Philippines. Everybody called me ma'am. So I was like, what am I doing here? But then in my mind, you know what? I am here for a reason. And that reason was for me to have a better life, to give my family back home a better life.
Ang nag-sponsor sa akin, unang employer, is childcare. Napunta ako sa Kinel. For some reason, hindi kami nag-click talaga. Finire ako, na nag-work lang ako sa kanila ng 1 month. Ang gusto ng employer na yon, i-transfer ako sa Chiliwak. Mayroon daw silang kaibigan dyan, Chiliwak na employee, na willing na sa akin, mag-take over. Sabi ko, I choose to stay doon sa kay auntie. Ayoko sumama. Nagalit sila. Alam mo, finire ako that day, pinatayan ako ng ilaw, na wala din akong kamalay-malay. Talagang inosente ako, umakyat pa ako. Sabi ko, ma'am, ang tawag ko, ma'am, wala na akong ilaw. Tapos talagang dinidma ako. That was November 28, sa Conel, kasagsagan ng snow. Pack your things in 10 minutes or else we will throw sa snow, sabi. Pababa ako, kasi dahil sila pababa ako, ang dinasal ko lang, Lord, ang dasal ko lang, Lord, padalhan mo ako ng tao na maghatid sa akin. Mga ilang minuto lang, wala yatang minuto, segundo, may truck na pag ganong direction, pag ganito kami, pag ganong direction. Tapos, alam mo, umikot siya. Sabi niya, is somebody pick you up? No. Sabi ko, no, my employer just fired me. Tapos umiiyak na ako. Tapos sabi niya, oh, where are you going? Sabi ko, I don't know the address, but I know how to, kasi nga naglakad ako, I know how to go there. Tapos alam mo ba, tinuro ko lang sa kanya yung daan, natuntun ko yung bahay nila, Auntie Bibang.
Bata pa lang po talaga ako, parang wala pa po kumalay, hindi ko na po siya nakikita. I think I remember po one time, uuwi po siya ng Pinas. Pero sabi po ng tita ko, yung nag-alaga po sa akin na, dadating yung friend ni mama mo, pipick upin natin yung camera ang pinadala niya. Tapos pagdating po ng airport, niyakap po niya ako. Siya po pala yung nanay ko. Kasi po sabi ko, hindi ko po kilala. Wala na po akong nakilalang hardworking na ibang tao katulad ng nanay ko.
Naman, di ba?
Kahit po lahat ng friends namin, like ng mga close family friends, alam po nila. Wala pong na-attend na birthday yan kasi laging nasa work. Dito po parang big adjustments. Kasi po kahit yung papa ko, hindi ko po kasama sa Pilipinas. So, nung pagdating po dito, parang nakakabigla na, dalawang tao kasama mo na hindi mo masyadong ka-close. Ganun.
I'm Vincent, I'm 23 years old, and I work for TransLink as a social media content creator.
Moving here with my mom and living with her permanently it's really weird. It's really weird. I mean, I was happy, obviously. Like, between me and my brother, I'm more close to my mom than he is, because I guess we're both females, and I guess that's one factor. And I borrow her clothes. I'm more like steal, but I'll say borrow. I moved to Canada, like I said, when I was 16, and so I guess I have my own way of thinking. And you know, I don't know how old she was when I moved, but I don't know, it's different when you, I guess, can establish the relationship early on in life than establishing the relationship later. My mom's working, you know, when we were here, when we just moved here, obviously she's working all the time, and she had 2 jobs at the time. And so there's not really a lot of time for her kids unless it's her day off.
My name is Tiffany Evanstola. I am 25 years old and I am a nurse. My dad was 15 years old when he immigrated here from the Philippines, and my mom was in college. My parents don't really understand the importance of rest. They're constantly going because of how they feel towards like making ends meet, right? And so because of that, I feel like they neglected their mental health a lot, and that impacted me a lot as a child.
Kasi po yung nanay ko, hindi po siya yung type na ma-showy sa love. Like yung sa salita, sa actions po talaga. Like kunyari, bibigyan niya na lang po yung mga kailangan mo, like di mo naman inaas. Umiyak ma. Yun po, like, sobrang na-appreciate ko lang po siya nung lalo na lumabas si Ellie.
Something that I want to say to my parents is obviously thank you for your sacrifice. Your sacrifice is something that I will never understand. Probably will never, yeah. Have never, will never understand what it's like to uplift your entire life and move over to a place that's so foreign to you. You know, having to relearn a new language, new customs, new traditions, like a whole different culture, just so you can promise your kids a better life. So that takes so much guts and courage and resilience. Another thing I'd like to say is that there's no manual on how to be the perfect parent. There's no manual for life in general, right? But then as a second-gen immigrant, I need to, I guess, like realize that, you know, they're doing the best with what they know. And I am also doing the best with what I know. And as long as we continue finding a place, like a middle ground, then, you know, there's no problems at all. I feel like, from the bottom of my heart, thanks to my parents. And I love them a lot.
everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to 1680 The Crow. I'm Jocelyn Chappelle with your 11 a.m. news headlines. Police say they are currently investigating reports of a violent assault in East Vancouver on Saturday night. According to social media posts, a woman was reportedly kidnapped in the area of Powell Street and Victoria Drive, sexually assaulted, severely beaten, and left at a park. The VPD has not confirmed any of the details in the social media posts, noting that the investigation is in its early stages. Over in Surrey, RCMP are investigating a reported attack on a soccer pitch at the Newton Athletic Park, also on Saturday night. Mounties say they got to the field around 8 p.m. after they received a call about disturbance, and when they arrived, they say they learnt about the assault. Police have confirmed 2 soccer teams and some spectators were involved, but no one was seriously hurt. No arrests have been made at this time. The president of UBC is asking those that work at or attend the university to be respectful, compassionate to different views. He says he's been made aware of campus incidents related to the Israel-Hamas war. The letter, which was sent out on Monday, says the situation continues to unfold. The violence, tension, and uncertainty is understandably putting a significant strain on our community. This also follows UBC being one of 4 universities in a $15 million class action lawsuit that alleges the university failed to address recurring anti-Semitic incidents. The federal government says it will build more than 2,800 homes on its properties in cities across the country, putting it on track to build nearly 30,000 homes on public lands over the next 6 years. Here's a clip from the Canadian Press with more.
These are significant steps forward, but we know we need to do more. One way to do this is through Canada Land's new strategic plan, which now clearly sets a direction to enable a minimum of 20% affordable housing units when a municipality does not have a minimum requirement, making housing affordability a key priority.
The first group of Canadians have left the Gaza Strip for Egypt. International Development Minister Ahmad Hassan confirmed the news to reporters on Parliament Hill this morning. Here's the Canadian Press with an audio of the announcement.
They're now safe and sound in Egypt, and we're very, very happy about that. It's a result of weeks and weeks of work in the region with our allies, and we will continue to work hard to get the rest of the Canadians who are stranded in Gaza out.
In business news, Honda and GM have dropped their partnership. Mike Dubusky with ABC has the story.
If you've seen advertisements for new Honda or Acura EVs,
the all-new, all-electric Prologue SUV.
Well, those actually run on Ultium, an electric platform developed by General Motors.
Honda and GM were going to work together and stuff, and they did. The Prologue and the ZDX are basically GM platforms running on Ultium.
And Chad Kirshner of EV Pulse says the plan was to move that partnership down market.
Basically, Honda and GM were going to work on building inexpensive EVs.
But GM's own Ultium vehicles have had a challenging rollout, says Kirshner. The company recently delayed production on its planned electric Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra.
And I think that those challenges that GM has had with Ultium has what caused Honda to walk away from their co-development deal with GM.
With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
For the weather, it is mainly sunny. We're seeing a mix of sun and cloud all day, sitting at around 10 degrees. The wind is expected to ease up this evening, and showers are likely to return tomorrow. On the roads today, there is a multi-vehicle collision along the upper levels of BC Highway 1, westbound by Taylor Way and 15th Street in the left lane. So try to account for some extra time if your route will be affected. Thank you so much for tuning in to 1680 The Crow. That's all we have for your 11 a.m. news headlines. I'm Jocelyn Chappelle.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.